that fast thing speeding through the city. Panoramic brain in my dead digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. To the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And then up from the store who was ready. I can't fuck with none of y'all niggas, y'all disgust me. When you with your maggot ass friends, don't discuss me. Effing with a standing clip, I hope don't try to rush me. I am saying such and such a nigga ain't gon' touch me. Big body band, remember I used to be dusty. Now I want my money, y'all hunters in a rush, please. I was selling weed when they came out with white tee. Now I put a whole half a ticket on my white tee. Whole hood popping other niggas, they don't like me. Made her eat it up, she told her friend he gon' wipe me. All my niggas thoroughbred, on foot cross street. Free all of the bros down the road and on right street. Hit that fast thing speeding through the city. Panoramic brain in my dead digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. Never to the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And then up from the store who was ready. Put some fine bitches in my jellies. 2 new glass tenants, these spaghettis. Ain't gon' bash you bitches, I ain't petty. Just know we fucking, we ain't going steady. I don't wanna sleep, I need more eddies. I ain't had no kid, but I'm a daddy. Let her shake her ass like it's magic. 20s in my pocket, look like cabbage. Carrots everywhere, I'm a rabbit. I ain't sure they low, what was that name? You was told to go, keep that cannon. I'm a fucking gold, I can't panic. Hit that fast thing speeding through the city. Panoramic brain in my dead digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. Never to the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And then up from the store who was ready. Money conversations, check my phone. Sway, how about Dolce Gabbana, Chanel?
Today, we're going to talk about the early MLB game, touch on the NBA playing games tonight, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
I feel like we get a Corbin Carroll, Nugenheimer off of something off speed. Can't walk him. Can't get him on the base pass. And I think you got to pitch to him. And I don't know if it's going to end well.
That guy sucks, Jose Ferrer. Sure, he can throw 100 miles an hour. He has no idea where it's going.
Zero clue. You're gassing up Ferrer, dude.
Zero clue where it's going. That guy, he might as well be pitching with a blindfold on.
And then Ty Jerome, this is where I will gladly take him to be pork. This is his perfect opportunity to shine, and he's been really good at taking these opportunities. So now that he has every single opportunity in the world where he's going to be pretty much the only starter in the lineup for a majority of the game against this Pacers defense, gladly I will get involved.
Arrest Zach Campbell. Put him behind steel bars. Get this guy out of here. He is a f***ing loser, a scum, a lowlife who makes people's lives around him significantly worse to benefit his. He's a me guy, the textbook definition of a me guy. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 680 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you aren't tracking your bets on Bookit Sports, start tracking this weekend, start tracking today, start tracking right now. Go check out Bookit Sports, the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. A million other features on that app as well. Go check it out for yourself. The best UI, UX out there by any sports betting app out there on the App Store or Google Play. Go check it out. All right, W Pickett, W Jovan, W BTL, W Goots. Hope you guys are doing well. Seeing Goots catching some flack for the intro songs. Goots, man.
Surely I picked those. Yep.
Letting the people know that you don't listen around.
Yeah, I picked those. I know who sings those songs for sure. Yep.
Hey, I heard Morgan dropped a fire song now.
He did. He's about to drop a new album with like 37 songs on it. Yeah.
Sure he can.
Yep.
Sure he can. Yeah. Apparently he talks about sports betting in his new song. I bet you didn't expect me to know that.
Yeah.
How about that, Goots?
How about
he
that?
probably donates, man.
Guy knows ball.
Probably donates. I think one of the lyrics he talks about betting on an underdog.
I
He
know.
might be a
I know he's a
BTL
Braves guy, right? So he's for sure
he's a
donating.
Braves
He's a
guy.
Braves guy.
He
He's
had
in
that
piss right
song
now.
98 Braves about the Padres beating them. Yep.
He's
Yeah,
probably
he's
lost
donating.
about 98K betting on the Braves this year.
He could have,
Yep.
but I think he's pretty comfy money-wise.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
All right, Jacobson coming in hot with the resub. You're him. We got Kyle B coming in with the resub as well. You are also him. Never forget it. Okay. Corbin Burns, Muckage on the north side. Go Cubs. Yeah, interesting game. I mean, you got a couple solid arms on the bump, or at least one, but a lot of wind blowing outs. We'll talk about that game. We got some time. We're lucky today, Jovan. No super early starts. First game starts up right after BTL ends, so we got plenty of time to talk about it. But before we dive in, start doing some recaps. How you feeling on a Friday afternoon? Ready to attack?
Glad to make it to Friday, Krabs. Especially because we've had two pretty moose slates the last couple days. Now you got everybody up and moving.
Yeah. We got Austin Rendis coming in hot with a resub as well. W. Austin, you are him. Don't you forget it. We appreciate you, Beast. Those subbies mean more than you know. Just getting involved in the chat helps as well, guys. I want to see all the goats in here on a BTL Friday. You know what? Let's go ahead and get an OG roll call going. I want to see what goats are in here bright and early at the beginning of BTL. Who's in here? Drop a one, drop a me, drop a hand up emoji, drop a crab emoji. We got a hype train. We got Total Slayer coming in, dropping 10 subbies.
Busting.
Wow. Nobody tell Trent. 2 words. Nobody tell him. Okay, we got 10 subbies coming in from Total Slayer. Let's fucking go, dudes. Yes.
Slayer just always sets tone, man. Always sets
Slayer
tone.
comes in here 9 times out of 10 and just sets tone right off the rip. Got to respect it. We got Dax Picks coming in, dropping a resub. You're sure he can? 2 months. W's. Total Slayer, man. 10 subbies. Those don't grow on trees. Not 1, not 5. How about a 10 piece? If you just got blessed up by Total Slayer, you better send him a thank you cards. Oh my goodness. But wait, there's more.
Bookie, Robber, and Total Slayer again.
The subbies are flowing. We've got 30 subbies in the last 2 minutes. Are you kidding me? We got Total Slayer coming in resubbing for a 10-unit whale. We got Thrasher coming in giving out a subby. We got Bookie Robber coming in giving out 10 more subbies. Oh my goodness. We've got Total Slayer with 20 total subs. How about a 20 piece? Unbelievable. Him, bro. Holy smokes. Squad Rides printing, sub splooging. Yeah, there's probably a correlation. Guys, look, I don't want to sit up here and toot our own horn and get super excited yet. We still have work to do with the Squad Rides. Okay, but let me keep this realistic. Let's take a little step back here right now. The Squad Rides overall are still 338, 276, and 15. Okay, 338, 276, and 15. That is an impeccable records that has not gotten better overall for the last 4 or so months, but we're starting to climb up. You can feel it, right? You can feel it. You can see the results. We've had a good week so far, knock on woods. We've had a good month so far in April. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's keep the momentum moving upwards. Okay, upwards and onwards. W Squad Rides. We're still 3 games under 500 in the Big 2-5, Jovan. So I am not happy. I am not ready to say we've accomplished greatness or we've done all the stuff we need to do. We're not even close. We're still under 500. Okay, we're still a lot of work to be done.
Close to getting back from, what was that, January and early February, I guess.
Yeah, the worst stretch we've had.
Couple weeks. Yeah, we're back.
Brutal.
Back in there. Baseball brought the vibes.
Baseball brought the vibes, and it's bringing the winners. As of right now, we are 8-4-1 in April. Let's stay hot in April. Okay, let's keep cashing Squad Rides. Let's stay dialed. Let's not get fat, happy, and complacent. Let's stay locked in. Okay, let's act like we're Patrick Corbin after getting bit by that fucking spider. Let's be dialed. Let's be dialed.
You see some biddies in chat from Thrasher, too.
Oh my God, 1,000 biddies.
I got one more.
Not just a couple of biddies, 1,000 biddies.
We're close to 50K followers on Twitch, so send it to Mom.
Wow. We are. We are 500 followers away.
On a stream talking about betting, saying that our plays were mid-shit. Everyone else is flaunting their own picks. So send it to Mom, Pa, okay?
Send it to Mom, Pa. We got Pax Picks coming in, dropping 5 subbies. Let's go, boys. We got Colt Stick coming in, dropping a subby. The boys are hot. We made it to Friday. Let's cash. W Colt Stick coming in with a 10-month resub. Hype Train, level 7. You don't see those growing on trees. I'll tell you that much. Hype Train level 7s simply don't grow on trees. They don't. We got the Eagles coming in. If he's an Eagles fan, I give him a pass because he resubbed. WZ Eagles coming in. Let's fucking go. 11-month resub. We appreciate you, Beast. Pax Picks, you're a very generous guy. Team player, we appreciate you, Beast. You are him. And Total Slayer, bro, cannot forget what you did. Okay? We got some goats in the YouTube chat getting up and moving. We got Oaktown's Finest, Justin Shoot getting up and moving. We got Doodle Knight coming in, dropping another subby for the people. Let's go, Doodle Knights. Sure we can.
W Doodle.
W Doodle, Hype Train level 8. All right, we're going to keep pushing, doing these recaps while you guys keep subbing. Let's go ahead and check out these squad rides. We'll pull up the recap here officially. Okay, we'll gas it up. Soto didn't do shit. Sorry, Mikey. I genuinely feel bad. I fed Mikey and Joshy cake on TMA yesterday, and they fed me 2 green squares, so I let the boys down. Not happy about it. But some of the only cake yesterday. Shout out the Mets overall. Okay, shout out chat for clicking the right buttons. Jovan was right as well, though. You could tell Jovan wanted it to be the O's yesterday, right? You could feel it. You could hear it in his voice.
I just wanted it to be one of your plays because I felt like you were dialed. You were a lot more confident in your plays than mine, and I guess that was the right thing to do there because you were dialed yesterday.
Sure. All we got to do is turn green, man. That's all I give a hoot about. And yesterday we did. We've been turning green a lot more recently than we were a couple months ago. So let's stay dialed. And like chat's saying, they're pretty hyped about the squad rides. They're pretty hyped about the Mets last night and the O's. Shout out Gootsy.
5 from Cold Stick. He must have tailed the Mets.
He must have tailed the Mets. He might have tailed all 3 plays last night. W. Turner Mac, I appreciate you, Beast. Thank you for staying dialed in with the squad. Thank you for believing in the squads and joining BTL damn near every single day. That goes for all you guys lurking in the chat, or even some of the quieter guys who are just in here listening to plays. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys, even the trolls that piss us off sometimes. We appreciate you guys too. Just a little bit less. Okay, but we still appreciate you. All right, and thank you always for coming in here, bringing the energy, dropping the chats, and tailing the place. Okay, and thank you, Goots, as well for grinding, keeping the show looking clean, looking fresh. It helps more than you know. All right, let's keep moving and grooving, boys. Let's check out and see how we did overall on the Sharp Report yesterday. Pretty solid day overall. Let's go.
I mean, Krabs 5-0 with the judge less than is one of those ones. Is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I hope the people that were chirping after he got a base hit in his first at bat, I hope they learned something last night. That's all I care about, man. That's all I care about, Jovan. I just want people to learn something. I want people to get smarter. I want people to get better. I want people to bet like me. That's what makes me feel good, right? Look, turning a bet green, that's great, right? But all I really care about, what really gets me out of bed, is changing your guys' mindsets and helping you not be square as mom, right? When I see you guys saying something smart or sharp in the chat, that gets me so bricked up, you guys don't even know. Okay, so changing the mindset a little bit, that's what really gets me up out of bed in the morning. And I hope you guys are learning. I feel like I haven't done as good of a job of being a teacher up here the last couple months, but overall, I feel like I've done a pretty good job over the last couple years. I hope you guys are learning something. And I hope those who are chirping that judge play learned something last night. Number 1, long ball game. And number 2,
long ball game.
You can't just take more thans on Aaron Judge total bases and expect to make coins. It's not that easy, guys. I wish it was. I used to think it was. I learned the hard way it wasn't. And now we grind our asses off to find winners the hard way. It's the only way. I promise it is.
Well, 2 things, Krabs. 1, WA lads. You just gifted, I think, 5 more subs.
Wow. Sure we can.
Clap it up for him. But 2,
sure we can.
People forget you are probably 1-1 overall on Judge yesterday because you gave up 50 nukes to him in the show.
Yes. Well, actually, just 1.
It was definitely more than 1. Definitely more than 1.
I don't know. Was it 2?
It might have been 3.
Discord.
It was 2 minimum. I think it was.
I hit 1 myself with Judge, so that might be one of the ones you're thinking of. I know I gave up 1 Turk that was a game-changing Turk. There was a game-changing Turk in there. Z-Shrek's probably right. I'm probably forgetting about the second one.
I know there was multiple for a fact.
Okay. Hey, solid night last night of games, though.
Yeah.
Solid night.
Mixed up the teams, and somehow Trent still ended up 0-2 with both teams.
Yep.
Probably some correlation there.
Krabs versus Judge on the show is something I'd pay for. I mean, I faced him every single at bat last night. Jovan didn't
every
pitch
single one.
Time. It made no sense. We got Jack LLVS coming in, dropping a 5-unit sub whale. Let's go.
Let's
The
go,
hype train is
Jack.
moving and grooving, Jovan.
Go.
Moving and grooving. Sure we can.
So he
Holy
hit it.
subbies.
He hit some nice PP green last night. I was seeing he tagged
Sure
me on the
he did.
feed with a bunch of our squares.
Let's go.
To be go.
Let's fucking go, dudes. Let's keep the positive vibes up. No need to address the negative vibes in the YouTube chat. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. All right. Goots, no steamed crabs today. No, I got nothing to bitch about. Patrick Corbin is literally turning into Spider-Man and throwing gems, and we are hitting all of our bets. There's nothing to bitch about. I can't complain today. I can't. And typically I can find something to complain about. Not today.
Especially when
Not
Big
today.
Cheesy comes in and boosts it
Dude,
up with some more gifted subs.
Are you kidding me? Gootsy, get up here.
Gootsy, ZA's back for one more. DJ Fitz one more.
This is absurd.
What?
Level 10.
Goots, we got 1 million subbies today. Call Guinness.
Million.
Call Guinness. We might have a new world record. We got Zagels coming in. I don't know what that name means. I don't care. I love it. W Zagels coming in, giving out another subby to the people. Hype train level 9. Are we going to get a hype train level 10? Those do not grow on trees. Holy smokes, we got one. Holy smokes, we got one. Did that parlay with Sela, ML, and Rust Goal hit for you guys? I don't remember the other legs.
I was talking about that because Mook DM'd me yesterday. He's like, I think that guy hit because he had Sela, or I think he had Sela -1.5, which ended up hitting in crazy fashion. And then the Rust Goal, and I don't remember the 2 other legs. I don't know who that was in chat, but somebody had that. And I'm dying to know if that 4-leg hit.
I'm sure somebody in chat will let us know. We have just an infinite amount of subbies. This is going to be a BTL record. I can already feel it. I mean, we've got 50 subbies already, and we're 20 minutes in. You guys are goated. You guys don't know how much this means to us. Number 1, it helps more than you know. Number 2, it's a confidence boost. Number 3, it shows that we're doing the right thing. We're working our butts off, and you guys are rewarding us. And all that's going to do is make us work even harder. As Green Guy comes in, dropping a 5-unit sub bang. Are you kidding me?
And Austin, too, with one more DJ Fitz right before that.
I mean, somebody call him up. Get DJ Fitz on the line. We got one more. Austin Rendis coming in hot.
Texted Trent, said level 10. Hype train, get in here.
Just say level 10, suck it. We got Doodle Knight coming in hot with a resub. Doodle Knight, you're him. We got Coffee Not Coffee coming in, dropping a 5-unit sub whale. Bro, I mean, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Splooging.
You want the winners or not?
No, they don't want him yet. We got plenty of time.
No, he wants Splooge, dude.
You guys are stressing Gootsy out. And you're stressing Gootsy out. You're making us, you're delaying the show. And you know what? That's okay. This is the one time it's okay to stress out Gootsy a little bit here. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. We could start moving along. All right. Why don't we get the Sharp Report plays up? You guys are good. Thank you so much. Let's have a Friday. Let's have a weekend. Let's stay hot. Let's keep working our butts off. Let's stay in the same headspace. And let's keep turning bets green. It's that fucking simple. Hype train level 10 achieved. I've never seen that before.
Happy accidents.
I've never seen it.
And Thrasher.
I've never
Thrasher
seen it,
one more
Jovan.
too.
Dude,
so many bangs.
Movie. We got Happy Accidents coming in, giving out 5 subbies. You are goated. Are you kidding me? Did I miss anybody? I hope not. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Holy smokes. We got by God in the chat. You're him, by God. Okay, don't let anybody tell you differently. You're him. All right, we got some plays up here on the board, so at least you guys can see some winners that we're on for today. We have a Hype Train level 11. Okay, my number in high school, lucky number 11. That could be the difference today. Love to see it. You guys are fucking awesome. Level 11?
It's crazy.
We're 500 followers away from 50K on Twitch. That means send us in your group chat right now. You guys are all in sports betting group chats. Send us in your group chat. Say, yo, the boys are heating up right now. Get in here, drop a follow. It helps more than you guys know. And I can see who's dropping follows, so I know who's helping.
Still banging.
We got Robert coming in, dropping 5 more subbies. 5 more subbies. Come on. Pax Picks. I will address the 24-hour sitch next week. Okay, we're talking schedules later today. Give me a couple more days. I promise you we're going to do them. Do not stress. We'll take care of it.
You, fan.
Give me a couple more days. We got TCU fan getting involved. Sure he can.
Could be my burner
Sure he
seat on.
can. That might just be Jovan going in and blessing the people up. Sure. Unbelievable. You guys are so goated.
Blue Jay.
So goated. All right. I'm going to start giving some sell jobs here. Let's talk some baseball. Okay. Jovan, I like runs in this Kansas City and Detroit game. Wouldn't be surprised, if it's the Royals who square up and carry the weight here offensively, but I also wouldn't be shocked if we see Reagans give up a couple runs today. Was a little bit surprised to see him have a super juicy earned runs allowed square up on Prize Picks and on the books. Like I said, the over a little bit juicy. I'm expecting some runs in this game and seeing the juice for the total moving up in the game. We're going to start seeing some 8s aloof by the time we get first pitch. I got a feeling. And seeing Job, who's been a young stud here for the Tigers. Jovan, he's got some squares up there as well that make me think he might not have his best start of the season. He's got that 1.5 Goblin earned run square after a shutout. Job has been pretty solid so far this season. Shout out SBR. Kid's a stud, but not tonight. I think the Royals put up a couple against him. I think Reagans gives up 2. And if that's the case, if Reagan gives up those 2 runs, we are in business here. Sure, there's some push potential for the first 5 over 4. I did end up taking out, the bullpens in this game. I know the Royals bullpen is not great. The Tigers bullpen's pretty solid. I just didn't want to get involved. I wanted to just fade the Prize Pick squares up there for these starting pitchers and fade these starting pitchers who have been overperforming out the wazoo. 2 very good young arms. Do I think they can keep getting away with it or keep pitching as well as they have been? Probably not, especially Job, who's definitely due for a hair of regression in his rookie season. We know Reagans is that guy, but looking at Prize Picks, looking at that earned run square, and looking at the odds on some of his props, made me think he might get hit up at least minimally today. And if he gives up those 2 runs, this first 5 over isn't pushing, it's soaring over. Okay, because the Royals are putting up 3 or 4 against Job.
Yeah, I was looking at that game, and I know 100% freeze. First of all, we have a couple one mores. Rye Guy, Loki iCarly, and B Young. All with some DJ Fitz one more subbies. Love
Appreciate
that.
all you guys.
Shout out the goats. But yeah, everything about this game looks like a very simple looking under. Both these offenses have struggled at times. Obviously, the Royals a lot more. That they've had some really bad series, really bad performances than the Tigers. But every single thing points to this under, and I've seen anything under supported all over Twitter today. Probably the most of any of the games. And there's weird squares up. Job is yet to look like fully human, I would say, in any start. And wouldn't it be something if it was against this Royals team that can sit and make him hurt a little bit and be patient? Yeah,
wouldn't it be something if Yelads came in and dropped a 10-unit subwhale? Because he did.
Wow.
Because he did the damn thing. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me, losing Nerfy coin.
Yay, lads. First off, stay hot, my man. Only 2 people in this world I've ever met who love Nerfies more than you, and I think that's Nerfy Chad and maybe Trent. And you might have overtaken Trent, honestly, for that second spot. Yay, lads, you're him. Stay hot, my man. Keep cashing Nerfies and keep blessing up the chat with some subbies. Let's get some Yay, lads in the chat. People forget we do it all for you guys, and we do it all for Yay, lads. We do.
And DJ Fitz people one more. That. Fade guy 2424. Bang that.
You're gonna leave off what he said?
Meat. W meat.
Man, a few words. 2 words. Meat. Sure, we can fade God. W Giancarlo Lugo coming in, dropping a follow. I want to gas up some new followers, please. Come on. We're 500 followers away from 50K on Twitch. Can you guys help us get there? Yeah, an unbelievable resub from Fade God. That geeked me. 2 words. Meat. Okay. Yeah, give me runs. Give me first 5 runs. Specifically, maybe one of the most nasty contrarian plays on the board. I mean, who wants to fade these 2 young arms right now? Probably nobody. And who wants to back these teams' bats who've been stinking it up all season? Nobody.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Sure.
You in?
I'm very in.
Big Cheesy. I do like the full game over, but I'd rather isolate and just fade the starting pitchers and take that first 5 and keep this Tigers bullpen that's pretty good out of it. Okay? Dubs. All right. Let's swing it around here. Let's see what Jovan is cooking up. Some runs.
Start
sure.
For better or for worse. One of the parks you definitely should not be taking overs in, but I'm doing it today in that Houston game, which I guess it makes sense being the 2 pitchers that we have on the mound for this game in Gusto and Hart, but seeing a total 8.5 up to 9 and in Houston, especially like early in the season, is not happening too much and too often, especially with the way the Astros offense themselves has been playing. so far this year, they look really bad. I think the remedy to that is facing Kyle Hart, who we've seen. I don't know. He's looked vastly different out of the 3 games. He had the one super bad blow up start that he had. He didn't even get out of the first inning against the Cubs where he gave up 5. Then the other 2, I mean, he almost threw a 6 inning. He got 1 hit against the Rockies, which the Rockies are the Rockies, but relatively impressive performance. He was lights out for the most part against the Guardians too. He went 5 strong. I think this is where it ends, especially being that the Astros, I don't know why it's been like this, but they get blown away by a lot of velocity so far this year. Like Kyle Hart doesn't have that. He's like very slider heavy. So a lot of the righties that have had trouble with that, like Altuve at times, even though he's been, I guess, better out of the bunch, but out of the guys that are like really been struggling, like Yainer Diaz, who loves to sit on off speed. You got Christian Walker. He's probably going to send where the Crawford boxes. I think they have a really good matchup today, all the righties. And I think he's going to have a really tough time getting through this lineup. Then on the other side, Gusto, I don't know what his leash looks like today because he's a bullpen guy. They've been trying to stretch out. I think he went 4 last time out. He gives up a good amount of hard contact. Yeah, strikeout stuff, but it's really like the key to his success, and you don't really do that against the Padres. They don't strike out very much. So if you're a guy that kind of relies on that, I think you're going to have some trouble. I think those 2 pitchers, especially in Gusto's case, if he ends up having a pretty short leash and you have to go to the bullpen a lot longer than expected against that Padres offense, I think they're going to make him pay for it. So taking runs for better or for worse. And I forget what the park's called now. Daikin Park? Maybe.
Yeah. These freaking corporate greedy sons of guns. How do you change that name?
Yeah. How do you change it from Minute Maid? Minute Maid was classic.
Minute Maid sounds great. It was engraved in my brain as a child. So I don't know. I hate it. Probably biased. And that's probably the only reason I care about it is because it's just different from the norm. But that's ridiculous. Minute Maid was a great sponsor, great name. It rolled off the tongue.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Always down to fade Kevin Hart, especially coming off of a legacy game, I believe. Was that his last starts where he had 0 runs?
Yeah. 6 innings.
He gave it his all.
6 inning shutout, 1 hit. Granted, it was the Rockies in the middle of that series. They got shut out all 3 games, but
certainly helps.
Good start's a good start.
People forget that old center field at Minute Maid Park. I mean, who signed off on that? It was awesome. It was stupid at the same time. I don't know.
Looking back on it now, it was like, how was that ever allowed?
How is that a thing? Whose idea? I'd watch a 30-minute doc on it, right? How is that not out yet from ESPN? It's got to be on the list, right? How they had a random mound in center field. I mean, I remember people would be sprinting out. Center fielders would be sprinting out there. They'd break their ankles running a dead center field. Yeah, no shit, because they're running up a fucking mountain. That was the dumbest thing ever, but it was also the coolest thing at the same time. I don't know. I think I'm pro. I think I was pro mound. I'll say it. I thought it was kind of
not like against it. It was just like if somebody like pitched that to be like built into a stadium now, we would look at them like I have 2 heads.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're doing too much. Why are you changing it? Yeah, you're right. The only reason we were okay with it was because it was already there when we had our first memories.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, we got runs in Minute Maid Park. I'm going to keep calling it that. I don't give a hoot. No mounds, no problem. Let's get some runs going. And I'm down to fade Kevin Hart after his legacy start where it kind of looked like he gave it his all. It was like the movie The Rookie when he finally gets out there in the major leagues and he fucking looks like his arm's about to fall off his body. Kind of looked like that. And he got the graphics all over the feed. People are shouting out the KBO legend. He is a legend. Good for him coming back here, working on some stuff over there, finding success and getting paid and back in the majors. But bless his heart. No pun intended. Going to be a long night here for Kevin Hart up there on the bump for the Padres. And you could say the same thing about Gusto against the Padres bats. Don't care how square it is. Some of the odds for some of the guys on the Padres look pretty crazy. Looks like they're going to be launching some baseballs today. And, they're one of the hottest, best-looking teams in baseball right this second. I don't hate backing runs from them on the road, especially not as square when they've been damn near perfect and undefeated at home. You are backing runs in Houston where there's typically not runs. Seeing a 9 total in Houston just in general is fucking crazy. I can't tell you the last time I've seen that. A 9 total in the park. Right?
They don't come around too often.
They don't. Chat really wants to know what kind of hat you have on.
It's a Cards hat.
Is it a new one?
No.
Yeah, I feel like
I've beaten this one to death because this is one of the I think 2 that I took to Florida when I was only supposed to be there for 2 weeks, but ended up there for 3 months. So I had a pretty slim rotation. I wore like just this and I think the City Rays hat for a straight like 3 months of streams. I was in shambles. That was like killing me inside.
You should have copped some lids, bro, at that fucking
dude. I went. They had nothing, bro. And I was like dead inside. I went because I was going to go at some point when I was there. And then I've never been there once and them not have my size and like anything that I wanted there. Which I mean, it's 7.5. I feel like it's pretty normal size, but they had nothing.
Right.
I was mad.
Interesting.
Gonna send you a nose one day, Jovan. Put that on.
They gotta earn that. They gotta earn that for sure.
I think we heard with Penny Taters.
Yeah, maybe you earn it by hitting up Hunter Green this week. They hit up Hunter Green this week. I'll buy a nose hat.
Okay.
Wow.
3 runs. 3 runs. I'll get a nose hat.
We're gonna need the O's to hit him up, to be honest with you. So let's hope that fucking happens. Damn, Chad hates lids.
Yeah, lids is not great. You gotta go to like that's the corp store where you get like the I don't know if I have like a regular one with me, but like the actual hats,
like the normal hats.
Wear. Yeah. If you're getting like weird stuff like this, you got like Hat Club online or some specific like streetwear places in the malls.
Yep. Chat keeps asking about this game starting up in a little over an hour. OG Sour, I promise, guys, we will talk about it plenty. Tons of wind, totals moving up. You don't see totals like that very often with Corbin Burns involved, so you got to know there's some fluke shit going on. We'll talk about it. All right, stick with us. Let's get through the Sharp Report 4-man here first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay? And we got to finish the straight bets before we even get to that. Yep. So, Jovan, W over in Houston. Let's swing it back around here, Gootsy. I got another straight bet for the peeps. How about back in Toronto on the ML today against Seattle? You got a line flip. I want to fade Woo. It's not like he's got the weirdest looking squares, but I don't know. Some of Woo's squares up there and some of Francis's squares look up there look a little bit weird, at least weird enough to kind of pique my interest. And I dove into this game a little bit. Oh, this is more of a feel bet, I guess. Both teams are relatively hot, but if you really dive into it, Seattle, they got their first 2 road wins of the season in their last 2 games, and they put up a combined 16 runs. Pretty darn good 2 games, right, for that team who needed some road wins, and they finally got them. Now, that sounds worse than it is. They only had 4 road games before those last 2 that they won, so they've only played 6 total road games. Now, they're still on the roads. They're heading up to Toronto against a Toronto team that did not get off to the best starts. Vladdy finally just hit his first home run the other day. Shout out Trent. They're starting to get going now. They're starting to get going, and Toronto has actually had pretty good success against Seattle over the last couple of years. They've beaten them 2 of the last 3 times they played them over the last year. And Toronto has this weird young pitcher on the bump who I think has some talent. I mean, he mowed down the Nats, which isn't saying much, earlier this season. And then he went on to have some pretty poor starts. And now Giovanni's got some squares up there that make me think he might have his second best start of the season, might get that second win of the season. Francis has a crazy pitching out square up there too. That makes me think, well, if he's going that long, it probably can't be that bad of a result, right? And I thought that was a little surprising, seeing Francis getting gassed up, especially considering Seattle is on the roads. So we're not playing in that, pitcher's park out there. And they're coming off of probably their best offensive performance of the season, right? But a little bit of a cheat codes. They're playing in Cincy, right? That helps. Now they're going up to a normal park up there in Toronto. I think the bats might die a little bit, right? They might go back to the pre-Cincy series form where you saw Seattle a little sluggish, a little dead offensively. And I do think Toronto can put up a couple here against Woo. He's got that sub-3 ERA. He's looked sharp so far this season, but his squares make it seem like he's not going to be perfect out there tonight. And looking at that Francis pitching out square, I think he's in there for a pretty darn good chunk of this game, and that tells me he's going to be pretty darn effective. Give me the less than earned runs allowed for him. Give me the more than pitching outs for him. I think it's a Francis legacy game, and I think Toronto gets the big-time win here at home.
I agree with you on the Francis side, and I do agree with you, too, that I like the Jays in this game. I think Woo pitches decently well, and this is just an under game. They win like 3-1, 3-2. So, I mean, I'm on the first 5 under in that one.
Sure.
Which I guess the big thing that's in your advantage for that, like you said, everything that I won't rehash about Bowden Francis. You've seen his squares. I love his matchup. I think he has an absolutely great game. I think Woo pitch is okay, too, because that Jays lineup is very aggressive, and he likes to feast on that. But the Mariners bullpen has been used quite a bit, including yesterday when they needed to be in that crazy game that was damn near unexplainable against the Reds. So like now they're a little battered and bruised coming into this game. If you need some late runs, the Jays bullpen doesn't blow you away exactly, but they might have the edge today. So I think if you need it to be one late, I think you get it.
And that could certainly have a lot to do with that steam, right, from that line. If Seattle had a fully rested bullpen, it would at least be closer to a pick 'em. If not Seattle being that favorite. So they were talking about it during the game last night. Yeah, their bullpen was already chalked. And then everybody pitched. How do you think they feel today? Toast. Fucking pool noodle arms out there in that bullpen for Seattle. That's typically really good, but could have a little edge here for Toronto. And like Jovan was talking about, Francis is going to go shove anyways. So not going to have to rely too much on that bullpen from Toronto anyways, besides hopefully the last 2 innings.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's if they don't come out immediately and just beat the shit, which I think it'll be relatively close for a while. We'll see who has the edge early in the game. If they don't, I would recommend betting the Jays live. Because, I mean, Troy Taylor's the only pitcher for the Mariners who didn't pitch yesterday. And a lot of the guys that decent extended innings. You're not going to see quite a couple of them today.
Yeah. Their arms are going to fall off. Okay.
Yeah.
Toronto ML. Guess it makes a little bit more sense after going over the bullpen sitch than maybe the line initially shows with these two starting pitchers. But and it's also an Apple TV game, which in the Big 2-5, just like the Big 2-4, is probably good for the unders. Unlike the inaugural season, the Big 2-3, when we saw runs galore in these Apple TV games. Apple must have been paying a preem for those games. And look, tough times in the Big 2-5, recession looming, right? They might be cutting back costs. They can't afford those good baseballs. Maybe they're giving them to Bezos on these Amazon games. I don't know. No runs in these Apple TV games. I'm with you. I could see a pitcher's duel. Toronto squeaks one out. They win 3-1. I could see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's flip it around to Jovan's plays and see what he's cooking up. You already guys talked about that first 5 under a little bit.
Yeah. Right. Talked about the first 5 under, but I can talk to you about the Big 12 moneyline parlay on the College Diamond. Baylor and Arizona State. Baylor, I was telling you, I was looking very hard at this Baylor Utah game yesterday, thinking about putting Utah up here on the Sharp Report. Ended up going with Sela because Utah, I don't look at like weird lines very often because you can really only take them at face value in college baseball because they really don't know how to cap the games too accurately. But Ethan Calder was one of the best pitchers in the Big 12. I thought he was going to dominate, or like you should think in this game going on paper, he was going to dominate that team, but the line kept trickling back. I thought it was short to begin with. Utah won 13-1, absolutely dominated that game. And they kind of shelled out everything I think they had in that game. Baylor's like main advantage is pitching over a lot of teams in the Big 12, especially a team like Utah, who doesn't necessarily have the depth, I think, to compete with them pitching wise on like a Saturday to Sunday series. They can do it for a Friday game, and they showed that yesterday. But now, after that shelling, you're not only going to have the big time pitching advantage, Baylor is, because you can say that over pretty much anybody in the Big 12, minus 2 of the top teams, but you're also going to have what was also the case yesterday and was a big time problem for Ethan Calder. I walked outside, Krabs, and I felt some wind, and it was very strong. So I went to check what it's going to be, going to be in Waco today. Almost 30-mile-per-hour winds going straight out, and that's a big time problem for all of the arms that you're going to see from Utah today because they're big time fly ball pitchers against a Baylor team that loves to hit home runs when they do make contact. They're like a boomer bust team pretty much. They don't really manufacture offense. They hit tanks or they do nothing like last night. So I think they're going to be hopping all over them. Obviously a big bounce back spot after last night's game, but I think they get the win. Similar story, except no bounce back narrative for Arizona State. I don't know how much you've been tapped into what's been going on in college baseball as far as like the overs and Sharp Report plays, but Texas Tech has made a very common appearance, and they're playing Arizona State today after just yesterday. Their ace, McHugh, who's like one of the only competent arms they have, couldn't even make it out of the first inning. So they had to use their bridge guy for 5 innings and the rest of the bullpen, which did not do much to suppress Arizona State, winning the game relatively comfortably. But now you come back and you're in, I don't even know who they're going to throw today because once it gets past McHugh, it's just a bullpen game for 2.5, 3 straight days for Texas Tech in the rest of the weekend series. So they have a couple guys they can go to, like their starter last week. I forget exactly what he gave up, but Zane Petty, he gave up 11 runs in 2 2/3. So really bad. If they want to go to their other Saturday starter they had the week before, Tyler Boudreaux, he didn't make it out of the 5th inning. He gave up 7 runs in his last start. So they're all fucking terrible. And it's really, it doesn't exclude really anybody for that. So against an Arizona State team that has an unbelievable amount of pop, and there's home run This team is going to absolutely destroy the pitching staff they set out. This is probably going to be another game that has runs. Don't have the wind to help you, but if I'm death taxes and fading Texas Tech's pitching staff at this point. So that MLP is plus 105. I got.
Wow, you got a plus sign up there though. It's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have not been as nearly as tapped in as in college baseball as you have, obviously, but I've been following along your plays, and I know how college baseball works at least. And after hearing they sell jobs, that this plays make an incredible amount of sense to me for tonight. And that win should only help Baylor in this game.
Yeah.
So
for what it's worth, the total was really high yesterday, and it started to trickle down, which made sense being the pitchers that were on the mound in that game. But today, I think it's up to 16, which should tell you something probably. I'll say this, I'll be very surprised if there's not double digits in the run column for Baylor in this game.
Okay. Yeah, if they're not, we're probably screwed.
Right? Yeah, if this was a baseball game or a MLB game with like actual betting markets available, there would be copious units on Baylor team total.
Wow. Okay. I see my Hokies aren't in the rankings anymore. That's a shame.
Yeah, they kind of sputtered for a little bit when they started playing some actual comp. Still a good team, but I don't know. They kind of got, I think, stuffed in a locker last series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, I remember they beat Troy, I think the first game of that series, and then I haven't really been as tapped in since. And I think it's all been downhill since then. So
yeah, they got swept by FSU, which is acceptable, but they didn't really. Good. Pitching was good, I guess. 2 pretty low-scoring games, and the Saturday game they got run-rolled. But yeah, that was like their chance to prove they were something of worth. They folded.
Let's go, Chote. I love the Hokies too, man. I appreciate that, Chote. I knew I liked you. Yeah, would love to see the Hokies get into Omaha at some point in my lifetime, maybe in a couple decades or so. That one's not going to be easy. Can already tell. There's no way I get a handout Hokies to Omaha trip here in the next couple of years. There's no way. If they make it, though, I'd be down to go. I always tell people that, or people always respond, you guys ever do college baseball? I'm like, well, Jovan covers it a little bit. You ever want to go to Omaha? I'm like, it'd be cool. I'd like to go see my Hokies out there, but they got to earn it.
Yeah, I definitely want to go one of these times.
It would be very cool to go to Omaha, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Frogs have been there so many times, just never been able to do
ranked.
It. It's unbelievable.
At least by this list I'm looking at right now, ranked 25. So maybe they took the Hokie spot.
Yeah, they honestly might have. They're back. Right. They're back. A lot of the Texas teams are starting to play well. Texas A&M all of a sudden back after being dog shit too. So some momentum.
It's on the bucket list, Trice. Don't worry, my man. Definitely got to hit Omaha at some point. Okay? Should go this year, honestly. Whoa. Sure. All right. Yeah, SJ, you got to be on your stuff if you're trying to lock in college baseball. It depends on the day when you're getting those lines. So
that's why I can never not never, but a lot of the times I can't put stuff on the Sharp Report because I don't have time to lab it because a lot of the times these lines are going up as we're already starting BTL.
Right.
So I'm fortunate the last couple of days they've put them up with enough time so I can lab and lock them in, but usually it's not the case.
They're dialed this week. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's swing it around here, Goots. I think I got one more straight bet here for the peeps. Wow, going back to them. Shout out the Rangers last night. Shout out Kumar Rocker for doing enough. And now I'm back in the Rangers and hopefully their offense today. Although they might not need many runs in this game because they're going to have DeGrom out there. And he's going to shove and have his best start of the season today, in my opinion. I know he had a decent debut, and then he's coming off a couple brutal outings sandwiched in the middle there. But Prize Picks, I feel like, depicts a pretty clear picture of how this game's going to play out here tonight. If you go look at some of DeGrom squares, he's got that earned run square against the Dodgers of all teams that makes you think maybe DeGrom's washed, right? Maybe he's lost it, just like some of Trent's tweets. Well, I think this is the perfect storm when we lock in and back DeGrom at home against a Dodgers team that's been known to strike out a time or two. Go take a peep at some of DeGrom's squares up there, like his strikeout square. You might think he might have a little bit of a better day today against a lineup who I think he can have success against. A lineup that's scary to fade, sure. But that's how I know I'm on the right sides. And I feel like if anybody can do it and mow down that Dodgers lineup, that is a little bit veteran heavy and strikeout heavy, it's probably DeGrom. And I like his chances today, and his prize pick squares make it seem like he's going to have a damn good day. And the opposite could be said about Yamamoto. Yamamoto has some interesting squares up there, and we're going to talk about one of them here in a moment. But I think he gets roughed up a little bit here. And the Rangers are a team that, Jovan, we wanted to buy stock in preseason, right? It has not been the greatest of starts, I guess, for the Rangers, but they're starting to get going here a little bit. Besides Jock, they're doing Yob. Nothing to complain about.
I think winning the division right now.
Yeah, 12-7. It helps when they win their last 3 games. And puts them right up there in first place, looking pretty good the last couple nights. I think that continues tonight. And what do we know about the Dodgers, Jovan? At least what do you and me know? They're not there yet. This is not Mom and Pa's Dodgers, or at least they're not playing at their best right now. They're beatable, especially on the road. They are beatable. Okay, the Nats fucking did it. Let's not forget it. That was not too long ago. You take the Dodgers out of LA, good things can happen when you're fading them. And coming off of 3 straight wins, talk about the ultimate fat, happy, and complacent spot, Jovan, to fade the Dodgers coming off a sweep against the Rockies. I mean, we could craft up a Bookit team. We could probably go out there and keep a game close against the Rockies in this economy. Yeah. They stink. Come on.
Really bad.
They're terrible. Bad. So you get the Dodgers coming off that series. And by the way, a couple of those games were pretty close.
Especially that last one. That last one was interesting, to say the least.
This is just, you know what this is? This is a Dodgers team that, to me, looks complacent. This is a Dodgers team, to me, that doesn't look like they're out to, set the record for most wins in a season. They could. With the talent they have on this roster, with the bullpen they have, they could go out there and win 110 games. But the effort I'm seeing, the approaches I'm seeing from some of these veterans at the dish that aren't making any adjustments, they're just saying, oh, I'm Max Muncy. I was good 5 years ago. I'm not changing. I'm going up here and doing the same shit. Just like Chris Taylor, just like some of these guys who might need to change their approach a little bit in the wee years of their career, but they're not, and they're not finding much success. So I think the Dodgers are extremely fadeable right now. I think with Yamamoto on the bump on the road here, he's very fadeable tonight against the Rangers lineup that I want to buy stock in right now that I think is on the rise.
I think there might be something to be said, too, for the road Dodgers going first game of the series, because obviously it's early in the season, small sample size, but the 2 games to start the road series that they've been, they've had so far, it was one where you got your Mackenzie Gorgem and the Nats one, and the other one Lazardo through, I think, 7. I don't know if it was shutout. Might have been shutout. 7 shutout innings, and the Phillies beat them. And they scored, 6 runs total in those games. So the offense didn't exactly come to play in the road trip the first time around. They saw these teams for the first game of the series. So this could be something.
Yeah, lads, we can't really pick when, family members are getting engaged and there's family stuff going on, or else
I think
we at that game.
We probably would have if Trent was going to be here still, unfortunately.
Love the Rangers today. Like them full game, but I like them first 5 even more. Get in, get out, right? The Rangers bullpen. If there's one thing that scares me about this team right now, it's their bullpen. Although they've been fine so far, but you're relying on guys like Garcia, former Nat, who is pretty cool, young lefty that has a dominant arm. But if that's your closer, man, I got questions. And I don't even want to involve the bullpens. I think there's a huge discrepancy here. The Dodgers have the best bullpen maybe ever in baseball history. I'll give them that. They do, at least, name-wise. Texas bullpen, they've been fine so far this year. They got some big-name studs, but I think the Dodgers do have that advantage. So I'll isolate here, and I will just back what I'm seeing on the prize picks boards, and that's that DeGrom has his best start of the season, and Yamamoto is extremely fadeable today on the road against the Rangers.
Sure.
All right. Dubs. Let's swing it around here, Goots. I believe we got some prize pick squares to talk about. Sure we can. You want to get a mine first?
Sure.
Okay. Bowden Francis. I mean, I've already pretty much sold these, but Bowden Francis, that, by the way, has a crazy -135, more than 17.5 pitching outs on the books, which was a head scratcher to me, especially with a rested bullpen. I was like trying to figure out why the heck he's so juicy to the over on the books, and why was that high to begin with. Looking at his recent starts, it's not like he's really proven that he goes that deep into these games. Today he will. Looking at that square and looking at his odds in the books, he's going more than his pitching outs. He's going out there pitching 6 clean innings, maybe more. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if he gives 7 and throws an absolute fucking gem tonight. I'm all over Bowden Francis. Love that super juicy more than pitching out square that I'm surprised is even still up on the boards. And then you got that Yamamoto square that I brought up earlier. Super, super red. Hasn't given up many hits this season. Has been pretty nails overall. But today, he's facing the best lineup in the worst matchup for him of the season, in my opinion, on the road against a very veteran-heavy lineup that won the World Series a couple years ago, and now, after a down year last year, has a lot to prove this year. Good fucking luck, Yamamoto. You are in for a rough night, in my opinion, and he's going to be giving up more than 5 hits before we even get to the 5th inning, in my opinion.
Wow. Love that call from Krabs.
Yeah, he's getting mucked up.
Love that.
Game doesn't need to go over to graduate from Demon, yeah.
Dude, 100%. We found that out. Honestly, some of the closer ones we've had have been games that haven't ended up going over. So it certainly doesn't take all overs, but the game script helps.
Yep.
For sure.
Do you want to give your sell jobs on your squares, and I'll drop the link to tail for the peeps?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Talked a lot about what I think is going to happen to Kyle Hart in that game, and brought it over to Gusto as well. But I think the Padres can get it started pretty early with MVP Tatis, which I don't know. He's obviously a GOAT now, especially with how he started the season. But one of those, again, I like talked about, this with Austin Riley. Like a lot of these guys that are not the Shoheis and sometimes like the Jordans, when you see minus 130 on the books or higher, which some places it is for those TVs, it's usually a pretty tip-top telltale sign. Tatis is there today. So, I mean, I was looking at all of the squares. It's slim pickings. Seems like they're hiding something, but gets to face Gusto today. I love runs in the game, and I think he could start it out. Gusto also throws the fastball almost 60% of the time. Have fun throwing that to Fernando Tatis right now, because that's about to be a show. And sure, you can pitch around him. You can do whatever you want, but realistically, that hasn't worked for anybody so far this year, so I don't think it's going to work now. I think you see one of the Crawford boxes maybe instantly in the first inning from Tatis. So that would be fantastic. Then Carlos Rodon, unfortunately, I think is going to have a pretty great start today. The Rays lineup, like a lot of the pop and what I'm so excited about the Rays this year, and it's been awesome to watch sometimes. It's outside of like Junior and Yandy, which are the obvious like big time threats for them as far as like facing lefties from the right-hand side go. I love Jonathan Aranda. He's been absolutely lights out this year. He's probably not going to be in the lineup today because he doesn't face lefties. Brandon Lau's been good in a lot of spots too. He's not going to be in the lineup, and if he does, or if he is, he's not going to have any success because he can't face lefties. So you're going to have guys like Curtis Mead in there. Danny Jansen is going to be catching, I assume. They've been terrible. A lot of the middle of the lineup, really, again, like anybody outside of Yandy and Junior, who are going to be the two batters, maybe two of the first three, where depending on where they put Curtis Mead. Everybody else has been pretty terrible against lefties. Like the Rays overall are a league average team against lefties right now, with a chunk of that production coming from those two guys. So I'll have to believe it when I see it, especially because they're super aggressive every time they face Rodon with the Yankees. I've noticed that, and anytime they do that against any sort of pitcher, they swing at some bullshit, especially the guys like Morel, Jansen, really anybody at the bottom of that lineup or past Junior. So I think Rodon, we see his squares, you see the stuff in the game. I think this is like after the game crawled over yesterday, this is where you're getting the under, and I think a lot of that's going to be because of the Rays struggling against Rodon.
Yeah, I unfortunately agree with you. I think Rodon goes out there and has a pretty darn good start. I love that less than earned runs allowed square, and I really like that Fernando Tatis more than TV square as well. And he hasn't really been slumping, but definitely in the coldest stretch of the season so far, which is pretty impressive if you really think about it, because he's still getting the base hit a game. He just hasn't really been eclipsing this 1.5 TBs as much this past week. I think tonight he might. In a great matchup with some runs.
Minus the 2-tank game that did happen last series.
He did have a 2-tank game. People forget.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're the Cubs were after that were pitching around him decently heavy. You can tell, as anybody probably should, but if you're Gusto, good luck. He lives in the strike zone.
Yep. All right. I'm feeling some runs in that game tonight. I'm in.
Sure.
Runs in that Padres game, no runs in that Yankees game. Right?
Yep. Would love that.
Sure. We got B Drama Free coming in, dropping a follow. Sure we can. Appreciate the follow. We are on the way to 50K followers on Twitch. We're getting close. We got SJ Scarborough coming in the chat saying Reagan's no-hitter today. Respectfully, do not love that angle. And I honestly like runs in that game. I'm on the first 5 over in that game, SJ Scarborough. I like some runs. Okay. Who has Trent said he would bet money on not going yard today? I'm not sure yet, SJ. I'm not sure yet. We need to know. because the last couple nights, Trent has said there's no way that this guy is hitting a home run today, and then he's gone on to hit a home run.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can't make it forced. It has to come to him.
Can we go back to my squares real quick, Hovey? Yeah, we can real quick here. Gucci, if you don't mind, can you flash my squares up there on the board?
Sure. He's getting there.
Sure. We'll get those puppies up here in a moment, folks. Okay? We'll flash them for you. And we will talk a little bit about the NBA playoff games or playing games in a moment here. We got Javon's Heat getting active. Okay, we're not going to do an NHL or NBA pods. We're only going to do pods about stuff that we're extremely confident talking about, and that's, NFL, college football, MLB, and yeah, that's probably it as of right now. I just don't have enough to give. I'm not going to make stuff up and do a pod. But we will talk about the NBA playoffs a little bit today, and I'm down to talk about the NHL playoffs once they get started up next week as well. I think my Caps play on Monday. They get a big series, and that one's probably going to go 7, like Cap series typically do. Before we hop in, and yes, chat, you guys can see my squares up there on the board now. W Hovey, W chats. All right. Yeah, we got NHL playoffs starting up tomorrow. W's. I don't know why the Caps have to wait another couple of days, but it is what it is. And then we've got NBA playoffs, I believe, starting tomorrow as well, or
yeah, they start tomorrow. It's 4 games, 4 series. I guess they'll start tomorrow.
Sure. All right, Jovan, why don't we pivot and talk a little bit here about the 2 NBA games tonight, and then we'll talk about that MLB game before we get to the squad ride that starts up this afternoon. But I want to ask you about your Heat. Okay? Shout out Spoelstra. Shout out the Heat for pulling out that win the other night when nobody believed. Unbelievable. Now we're seeing them flip from a dog to a fave in this spot. Although they've been a fave for the majority of this line being out. Initially, they were a dog. Now they're a -1 favorite against the Atlanta Hawks. Jovan, I'm going to shut up and let you talk because you're a Heat guy. Would love to get your vibe on this matchup tonight.
My vibe wasn't great for, I guess, the game against the Bulls, and I didn't really know what to expect from that one. The Bulls just let Tyler Hero take layup lines for the entirety of the game, which was absurd. He was fantastic, not to take anything away from him, but I don't know if I've seen any worse defense, any easier offense than what they allowed Hero and a lot of the guys to do in that game. The Hawks, though, as bad as their defense is, every time they've played Hero, they've made it really tough on him. He's had like really good performances against them, but it's all been a product of like super tough shot making. And I can guarantee you after what happened, especially with the Bulls, like in that last game, Tyler Hero's coming off of a damn near perfect shooting performance. They're probably going to put some more pressure on him again, which means you're going to need a lot of the other guys to make shots, which is where my confidence starts to drop a little bit, especially because you're going to need a lot of that volume from 3-point shooting, which I think Duncan Robinson can have a really big game, and he's probably going to get a lot of shot volume in this one. But outside of him from the shooters, I don't know that my confidence is all that high. So you're probably going to need somebody other than Hero to really be the guy in this game. And I'm a little concerned of the consistency of that offense, especially of how good they looked as a unit in that last game. So I'm honestly a little surprised just looking at the game for seconds that the total is as low as it is. Kind of screams an under or some sort of offensive regression coming from the Heat. Granted, on both sides, you're going to probably have 2 defenses taking the ball out of Hero and Trae Young's hands. So I don't feel great about the Heat today. I'll say that.
Yeah. Looking at those picket splits, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars on the Heat today. No wonder why that line's flipping from dog to fave. Shit. Yeah, and Chad is acting like this Hawks play is the crabbiest play of all time. I agree with you guys. I don't think it's the most nasty, crabbiest contrarian play on the board in any sport today, but it's definitely the nasty play. I'll give you guys that, and I would certainly lean the Hawks, who maybe this is one of those cases it's more important, where that line opens up than where it's at right now. And after looking at those picket splits, I'd imagine that's kind of how, most of the books splits are probably split on this game after what the Heat did the other night and destroyed
I think
that team.
It seems like, I guess it's different places, but it's starting to flip back to the Hawks.
Is it actually? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this give anybody Atlanta Hawks equal Ole Miss in the tournament? Round 1 vibes against UNC. UNC had that crazy win in the play-in. Everybody wants to back them, thinking, oh, they're hot. Oh, they got that, great name, the Miami Heat, great name. UNC, great name. After one big-time win, and then Ole Miss, the better squad, who nobody wants to take, ends up winning. That's a great comp for whoever said that in the chat.
Yeah.
Matt Gauthier Could not agree more.
Trey
Love
also
that.
did just get ejected after being literally acting like a child, pissed off at the way that game was going.
Okay, so they're going to win today. Okay.
Mm.
That sucks, Jovan. But I can already feel it just by hearing you talk about that game. It might not go as well for your Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like I'm trying to take the bias out of it because I'll tell you what my fan brain is telling me is I don't know if I've seen the Heat offense look collectively as good as they did for weeks now until that game.
Just like UNC in that playing game. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, my fan brain would say we're back.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a concerted effort to win the game and look great again, and then get porked by the Cavs. But looking at this game, I think everybody's saying the same exact thing.
And respectfully, you know what we got to do with those fan brains?
I know.
We got to fade them. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. That might be an addition to my card later today. Look, if, like you're saying, if that steam is coming back towards the Hawks and then they end up closing a favorite or a pick 'em, I will be on them. Respectfully. I will not be gloating or celebrating when they win, but I will be on the Hawks in that game against your Heat. We'll see where that line closes, though.
Fair.
Okay? All right. We got Dallas and Memphis tonight as well. Does Dallas stay hot? Do they keep playing inspired ball? Maybe this is the team that we could potentially back here to keep their momentum flowing from that great play and performance. Do you think it could be Dallas, or is this kind of the same case?
Yeah, if there were one of the two teams I wouldn't mind, I guess, backing to do it again, probably would be the Mavs, just because, I don't know. You mentioned it too, like you really wanted to back them come playoff time, even though technically it's not the playoffs, it's the play-in, but they looked rejuvenated in their game. AD really wasn't even like that incredibly dominant until the end, where they were already up $1 billion, but
which
everybody else is
more,
doing it up.
To be honest with you, because it was the Random McGee stepping up and playing motivated, inspired ball, right?
100%. 100%. It was a full team effort, which was a little surprising. Not in the sense of like, I mean, the Kings defense is rat shit. So is the Grizzlies. They're incredibly worse. And I'm interested to see. First, Jaw's not fully healthy. I assume he's going to play today, especially looking at the line. I know it's always a crazy possibility, but if Jaw misses the game, I'd be shocked. I'm interested to see how they play with Edie because I don't know. The biggest draw for the Mavs right now is all the size they have inside with a bunch of those bigs, not just AD, but the other two. You have Lively and Gafford in there as well. So like Edie, I don't know if he's going to be a huge part of this game. So like if the Mavs are using that against them, that's pretty bad news.
Snacks, you're him. Take the Orioles on the ML. They win a third straight. Almost had it on my sharp report myself. They win today. Have a great time at the park. Okay?
Some runs.
You like runs as well? Yeah.
Love runs. That game.
Okay. Orioles in the over, a little two-piece. Have a great time, Snacks. Have a great weekend. That goes to anybody out there going to the park tonight, going to the park this weekend. Jovan, I got a quick quiz for you. It's only one question, though. If you're buying tickets to go to any ballpark this weekend, where are you buying your tickets?
Me personally, going to SeatGeek. Grab our tickets.
Could not be an easier question. Yep. SeatGeek, you plug in code Bookit10, you get 10% off your purchase. It's really that fucking easy. If you guys have not plugged in Bookit10 in your SeatGeek app yet, do me a favor. Just do it right now before you forget. It could not be easier. You download SeatGeek, which, by the way, if you're going to games and you don't already have SeatGeek on your phone, what are you doing? I buy more than half my tickets personally on that app. As is, not even just for work. It's a great app. They got low fees. They got low costs. It's one of the only apps you can actually pick your seats in the park as well. All the other apps, they just give you the worst seats in the row that you selected. This one, you can actually pick the seats. It's kind of elite. SeatGeek. All right, buy your tickets on SeatGeek if you're going to the park this weekend. Okay, hey, maybe you're going to a UFL game. Sure, I don't discriminate. Right? Maybe you're going to watch some football, the Arlington Renegades or DC Defenders, right? Go get your tickets on SeatGeek. Okay? Looks like Achilles' book already has the Hawks back to a fave. Music to my ears, Achilles. Music to my fucking ears.
Let's wrap this.
Sure. All right. SeatGeek does have parking as well on there. People forget that, Michael. Yeah, dudes. Okay. My fault. People do forget that. Yeah, you can buy parking tickets on there. Sure. I'll tell you right now, no way Zach Hampel's using SeatGeek. He probably still uses Ticketmaster. No shot. Zach Hampel is hip and cool enough to use SeatGeek. He probably still pays full price on Ticketmaster. Yep.
He definitely pays full price, dude.
Face foul. Or he probably just uses mommy and daddy's credit card, to be honest with you. That's probably what he does. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here, folks. I do like Dallas. I don't know if I'm going to get to the counter. I feel like I might have missed my window here, and I should have taken him the other night, and I got too scared. But, I still would lean Dallas here in this spot. Now, the jaw injury concerns me. I kind of like this young Memphis team that nobody really believes in as well, and they're also not playing great heading into the end of the season here. So it's not really a crabby spot to back Dallas here and fade them. So I probably will end up staying off, but I do still lean Dallas, and it's strictly just a fade Luka, just a, blue collar, more motivated effort from the rest of the young guys, the core guys, the role player guys that we saw the other night. I wouldn't be shocked if we see it again. Like Jovan said, we didn't even see a great game out of AD. Maybe you'll see that tonight.
Yep.
Who knows? Against some of those younger bigs on the
especially a team that still has basically no coach too. People forget that.
Yep. And look, if there's one guy that's going to lock the hell in, at least it looked like he locked in the other night as well, calling all the right plays, right? Moving all the right pawns. It's Coach Kidd, who is extremely pissed off with the whole Lucas Sitch.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the greatest coach either, in my opinion, but
he's better than no coach.
Definitely has the upper hand right now.
Better than no coach. Yep. All right. Love AD tonight, B Young saying, yeah, I don't disagree. Brandon in the YouTube is asking how we feel about the Pirates. You want to circle back here? We could talk some baseball?
Yeah, we can circle back. Go to the diamond.
Yeah, let's talk Pirates, and then we'll talk this early Arizona Cubs game, guys. Stick with us. We're going to get there soon. Okay, we'll answer Brandon's question in the YouTube chat here real quick. How are we feeling about the Pirates against the Guardians today? I'll be honest. I like the Pirates today. Probably going to stay off because they've been on fire. They just, beat the Nats in that series, and they're staying home. And Malinsky, there's a chance he might just be that bad. And you do have a little revenge angle here for Luis Ortiz coming into town pitching for the Guardians. That could be good for him. That could be atrocious for him, to be honest with you. I do lean the Pirates here to stay hot, though. I think they get a win here at home. Am I willing to pay plus 110 against this Guardians team with the Luis Ortiz revenge narrative? I'd probably need to see more like plus 120, plus 130 to get involved, but I do still lean Pittsburgh here. But it's not like the Guardians have been playing great, right? They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're back to 500. They're kind of limping into the series as well.
Yeah, I kind of like the Guardians, but It's not. I don't think this will be smooth sailing exactly because Luis Ortiz is not good, even though he coming off a start where he was damn good against the Royals, where he went almost 6 strong with 10 Ks. So I think it comes with runs. I wouldn't mind the over in this game too, but Mlodzinski and the rest of the stable is going to be coming in behind him, especially against a Guardians team. I know they struck out a little more this year, but they're still pretty tough to get whiffs on, especially at the top of the lineup. Have fun.
Have fun. Good luck. You're going to need it, right? Well, I'm certainly not betting that game. If you're liking the Guards, I could see the Guards, winning that game or at least being up late, and then maybe Clase blows another one. Who knows?
That could be it, yeah.
That could be it. All right, what about this Arizona and Chicago game? You got Corbin Burns. You got Colin Rea. Who knows how long he's going to go? He was actually pretty effective in that last outing for the Cubs. Arizona, I believe, is on an MLB record win streak right now. They've won 5 or 6 in a row, the longest active win streak in baseball, which is nothing to write home about. It's only 5 or 6 games, but they're playing good ball right now, I guess is my point. And they opened up minus 130, right? But as the day's gone on, as we've gotten this news about the weather, as the totals moved up, a whole 2 runs, it already opened up high as heck with the potential for weather, and now it's even higher involving Corbin Burns, which is pretty crazy. Looks like a pretty easy over. And I'd say the Cubs look pretty sharp, catching all that steam. I certainly am not going to go anywhere near this over. I'm also hearing that Betting Queen might be on the over as well. It just seems a little too easy, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know. Last year, I tried to get cute with some of these, Cubs high totals and try to fade some of them. And sometimes I look like a genius. Sometimes I look like the biggest bozo on earth. I don't really think I made out like a bandit. I don't think I lost a bunch of coins. It's probably just, around 50-50, almost like a coin flip. So I'm not going to spend any time or any units wasted getting involved in this one. But I will say with how bad Corbin Burns has looked, him opening up minus 130 is probably a good sign. But the way the line's moving and the way the wind's blowing certainly evens up the playing fields and helps the Cubs, hence the close to pick 'em line. I think all the value's gone now. right? There's no plus signs really in sight anymore. Even the Cubs are -105. So what do you even play here if you want to take a side?
I mean,
Jovan?
nothing. And I've made it I don't know, maybe like a self-appointed rule that the first super windy game in Wrigley where everybody gets involved, and it always tends to be like the Friday night game or the Friday afternoon game, I refuse to bet anything positively supporting that. I'll root for all of you guys, but it more times than not ends in piss. But I will say, like the Cubs today, Corbin Burns has been so bad because he's not getting nearly as many whiffs now, and he's been a big time ground ball pitcher, I guess, more so because he's throwing a lot more cutter. The Cubs don't hit the ball on the ground very often. They're a big time fly ball hitting team. So it's like the same thing we are talking about this with the Cardinals and Framber, and they lit him up that game, especially for Framber standards. It's kind of the same thing now. He's not a sinker baller, but that's kind of how he's been living and why he's been getting hurt so far this year. So like the Cubs don't have a bad matchup, even though it's Corbin Burns himself, especially with the win now. So I could see the Cubs getting a win. I'm so signed out of everything in this game, playing plus 200 home runs all over the feed, man. I'm good.
Yeah, lads. I think it's just too square, man. Yeah, just too square. Rudy, I do like the O's. I don't know if I'm going to lay that juice, but I do like the Orioles. -170 is crazy. Made some coins on them the last couple nights. I don't know if I want to get back involved, but I certainly lean the O's and that over with Jovan. Should be a pretty fun game. Maybe that's a good old-fashioned Orioles team total over, but those always scare me with the home team. So I always end up typically putting 1.5 units on the ML instead. And that's done me pretty well over the last year.
Yeah.
And chat's asking,
all season, no Orioles team totals for me because their pitching staff is just ratchet. I already got one with Gallon done after that.
Sure.
7 innings from Chigano last night.
Sagano's him. Love watching that guy pitch. He's fun.
The show was the sign.
It was. Yeah. Pulled his shitty ass car the night before. Sure he can. Unbelievable. 25K.
And Grayson Rodriguez is dead. Rest of his life. So.
Yeah.
Gray Rod and Kate Cavalli are going to go hang out in heaven. I think that's probably the move.
Might as well retire.
Those guys are going to walk off into the sunset together with 2 arms total.
Yep.
Between those two gents. I mean, to be fair, also Gray Rod has a much better chance of, returning and being good. I want to make that perfectly clear, but he reminds me a little bit of Kate Cavalli, where every year I hear about him, never see him do shit.
Big Cheesy asking the right questions. Coby Mayo moving to the bullpen.
Wow.
Might need to be done.
Might need to be done at this rate.
That can't be a real thing, though, is it, Goots?
No.
Okay.
The bullpen's fine. It's the starters. That's the problem.
Nats game canceled. Ay. That's all right. Maybe they'll get a doubleheader going, I'm assuming. I don't think they want to go back out there.
Wow, is that true? Getting some DMs. I think Richie said something earlier about potential wind in Arizona too. It's not as windy as here, but it's also windy and going straight out. Wow, huge news. You know what I'm gonna do? Take that Bozo pack as is, and also put a half U on both those MLs plus both those overs together.
Wow. That honestly is probably the move.
I want to do that. Goose it up a little bit too.
Goose it up. Sure.
Yeah.
No way Chu's saying it's snowing right now in Colorado, boys.
Yeah. Postpone the game.
Crazy?
It's insane.
How does that work?
Is it supposed to snow all weekend or what, dude? Because
I don't know. Somebody check the weather.
Especially if we're getting a doubleheader tomorrow at some point, I would love a snover.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to watch the Nats game in the snow, but it's also like my brain can't even compute that. It's going to be 80 degrees here today outside, and across the same country, it's literally snowing in April. Okay. Yep. That doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm not a meteorologist. Okay. We got Stanley the Clove coming in, dropping a resub as well. Stan, I don't want anybody to tell you differently. You are him. Stan, we appreciate you, Beast. W's, you're him. Thanks for coming in and dropping a resub. This could be a legacy sub day, folks. This might be a record. Somebody get Guinness on the line. Okay. All right, Jovan. Why don't we pull up Pickett Pro for a second here, if we can? We'll pull up Pickett Pro and we'll take a peep at a couple of these other baseball games that we haven't talked about yet. and make sure we have all of our bases covered. All right, W Goots. Let me ask you, I guess, let's go to this other Apple TV game because I'm curious about it. You got Paddock, you got Elder. I kind of want to lay the juice with Atlanta. I don't know if they're worth laying juice with how abysmal they've been this season, 5-13. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. Twins are starting to heat up right now. Hilarious since that tweet went viral, talking about every aspect of why the Twins suck and why they're not going to get any better. Now they win 3 of their last 4 games. Hilarious. I'm sure the whole team probably saw that tweet. It went viral. They're probably all talking about it in the locker room, as they should. And all of it was very true. But now the Twins are starting to play better. But I want to lay the juice with the Braves here, Jovan. But is it too juicy? Like, are you in the boat where you think the Braves right now, the way they're hitting the ball, they don't deserve to be laid minus 150 at all?
Yeah, I would probably tell you exactly that. I think your sentiment is there, I guess, backing Bryce Elder in this game because I don't hate the matchup for him against the Twins because the Twins are very boom or bust. So, like, he gives up hard contact. He is just the Twins have been not great against pitchers that kind of nibble. So he's a guy that I guess could find a little more success than expected, which is probably why, just like you mentioned, that total went down from 9 to 8 I'm seeing now, which is
thought that was weird.
Definitely pretty odd. If there was any way to back the Braves, I would say maybe the under is the way to do it because I think they win, and I think Paddock is probably going to pitch decently well in doing that because the Braves can't fucking hit anybody right now. Yep. Both these teams, I guess, fit that mold, so I wouldn't mind that under.
Okay. Maybe a little square under, although it's not as square as it looks when you got these 2 starting pitchers on the bump.
Yeah, square with the teams, definitely not square with the pitchers.
Yeah. All right, and I'm with you. That total drop in is weird.
Wish we could get Warner Bonds up and moving, but he's on the shelf for another week.
Prayers up for Matt Warner. We're going to need a healthy and speedy recovery for the kid, and we're going to need a lot of home runs when he returns.
Yep.
But most importantly, we need him back healthy in that leadoff spot for the Twins. Okay. Can't stand Elder. He's probably pitching a gem today, B. Young saying in the chat. I kind of agree. Wouldn't be shocked if both these crummy pitchers pitch a little bit better than the expectations, looking at some of their prize pick squares as well, and looking at the total in this game dropping. And also, it's an Apple TV game. It's crazy how far we've come, but Apple TV games are now under machines. I don't know what it is, but they just are. And that's a trend that I certainly wouldn't mind fading. Give me the under in that game. Sure. Jovan, what are your thoughts on Mikolas against Peterson tonight? Because I got close to wanting to back St. Louis coming off that loss last night. Shout out, Nick. Mikolas has a crazy earned run square up there on prize picks. And just like we're seeing right here on Pickett Pro, W Goots, who wants to bet on the Cardinals today? Not a soul. I mean, let's be realistic here. The Mets coming off that big time win last night. You got Peterson and his sub-3 ERA, the veteran, the lefty, pretty consistent, pretty reliable. And Mikolas has been so darn bad this season. And look, maybe this is one of those cases, Jovan, where you just say, you know what, Krabs? He actually is that bad right now. The books haven't caught up. He's just one of those veterans who's been better in recent years. And right now, he just can't buy one. And he stinks, and they haven't adjusted, and you just can't back him. If you're willing to tell me that, I'll listen. But I don't know if we're there yet because I've still seen flashes out of Mikolas. And looking at that earned run square is driving me nuts. Why is that up? This dude has stunk it up all season, been one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball, but this is Miles Mikolas we're talking about here, one of the weirdest guys, let alone pitchers in the game. Wouldn't it be something? Something. If this kid goes out there on the road, not kid, he's a seasoned veteran. The veteran goes out there on the road, and when people least expect it, he shoves against the Mets. I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does today, Jovan. Tell me I'm crazy or tell me I'm right. Pick one.
Wouldn't tell you you're crazy, but I'll tell you the way he yells. Tell him it's Mikolas.
All right, Mikolas. I'll say his name right in the future if he gives up less than 2.5 runs today. All right.
I question though. I'll say it. I don't know if we're quite there yet, but we might be damn close to where it's like the Wainwright part of like maybe he just is that bad and we're officially going down the cliff pretty fast.
Well,
I don't know.
Wainwright is Mr. Cardinal. I wouldn't say Mikolas is anywhere near that legacy.
No, I was saying like in the sense of like accepting that he's bad and the books really can't do anything about it. I don't know that we're quite there yet, just because this is a Mets team that there haven't been anything consistent on offense, but they don't strike out. So like against a pitcher like Mikolas, who It's going to fill up the zone. It's not going to be overpowering. Maybe this gives them like a little like stretch of hope. I know the total's low, but again, I keep thinking in the back of my mind, I've seen the same lines in the game and for Michaelis for the last like 3 games. He's given up 11 runs or 12 runs in them. So maybe it's a constant we're going to see until they figure it out. I don't know.
I want to bet the Cards today, man.
I won't tell you no to bet the Cards because I also do think if there's anybody I want to kind of fade too, it's probably David Peterson for the same exact reason, actually, because he's a guy that wants to keep the ball on the ground from the left side. You remember what the Cardinals did against Framber? I'll keep bringing it up because it's been a good sneak matchup to exploit for them when they face guys like this. So their bats, I think, could be alive in this one. It's just a question of what do we get from Michaelis?
Yeah, someone go find that damn spider that was all over Patty C and get that puppy to New York tonight, will you? We need to get Michaelis all bitten up. That could be the difference.
I'm gonna have to find it for old Uncle Charlie.
Sure. Yep.
Uncle Charlie
Might
needs that shit, dude.
I still cannot get over. I'm reading reports this morning. Patty C could barely walk when he got to the fucking park that day. He was like, what's going on? He almost passed out in the clubhouse. And then they're like, yeah, team doctors came in. Buddy, you got poison in your blood.
That's absurd.
You got bit by something. The guy goes out there, has his best start in half a decade. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's a life lesson for you guys out there, right? Maybe, working yourself to the bone every second isn't the right move for production, right? Maybe you got to work a little smarter. And maybe he went out there and just didn't give a single fuck. Maybe he was just worried about his own health. And is he going to live? Is he going to make it through the next inning? Can he even see or stay alive or awake? And maybe he just went out there with no bad thoughts and was just hoping he'd stay alive. And he went out there and fucking shoved. I mean, that's the best his sliders looked in 3 years, legitimately. I've never seen that thing move like that.
Actually, unbelievable.
Crazy. Or maybe he has legitimate spider powers. That could be a combo for another time. Yep, we don't have time for that one on this. Okay? Incredible.
Trent just sent me a slip in the DMs. I don't feel like putting it on the screen, but it is
It is Demon Stack.
It's Corbin Carroll 6.5 TBs.
It's already green.
Seiya Suzuki 5.5 TBs, 250 to
Wow.
5.6.
Sure you can. Sure you can. Those guys could both hit home runs, and that doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to hear your thoughts. So
Corbin Carroll could hit a home run and a double, and that would still be red.
I'm rooting for you, Trent. I'm rooting for you. That shit ain't hitting, though. Let's be real here. Come on.
Hey, shout out Corbin Carroll. So,
I hope this goes exactly how the Fugazi went when I said it was the worst Fugazi I've ever seen and then proceeded to turn green. Right? Yeah. No chance that shit hits, Trent. Could be the difference. Could be the difference. All right. Yeah, or just take the Cubs and just fade Trent there because I think he's got a whale on the.
He's Mega Max the Snakes.
It's just at some point, Corbin Burns has to have a good start.
It's not going to be today. There's an 11.5 total. They're on a 5-game win streak.
What if it's just today?
Sounds like Goots likes Corbin.
I don't.
Sounds like Goots wants a Corbin jersey.
I understand why he left.
Okay, why are we talking about this?
We did give him more money. Whatever.
Goots never change. You're fucking goated. Why don't we get the squad right up and moving? You mind if we dust that puppy off?
Dust it off.
I don't want to run late today. We got Rav hosting the Surge stream, I believe. W Rav stepping up to the plate. Yeah, Krabs, can we take a look at Alex Call of Squares? No need today, Zagels, but I love where your head's at. That game is postponed. Take that Alex Call Square tomorrow, my man. It'll turn green. For now, why don't we lock in and craft up a little squad ride play for the peeps? Gootsy, if you don't mind, run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. And just like Yay Lads is saying in the chat, let's keep the green train going. Yes, sir. Let's cash again tonight, Jovan. Why not? Looking at some of our plays, we have zero excuses for today. We've got a great looking slate. Plenty of baseball. You got NBA. Wow. No excuses. You got college baseball as well. I'm looking at some of our favorite plays today. I mean, I really like the Blue Jays and I really like the Rangers from my end.
I'm down for both of those. Certainly down.
Which one do you like better?
Probably the Jays. a little bit.
Blue Jays ML. Let's start with that. Blue Jays ML. Now, you do have that Mariners Blue Jays first 5 under.
Down and not double down in that one game.
Right.
It's for the same reasons.
If you felt extremely strongly with that first 5 under and wanted to take that instead of this ML, you'd tell me?
Yeah, I definitely like the other 2 plays a little better, and
Okay.
one of them's the money line parlay, so that's axed. But
you want to put the Padres Astros over in here?
Padres Astros over for sure.
Okay. I'm in. Let's put that puppy in here. Padres Astros. Over 9. You love those 2 plays?
Yeah.
We could just run it with those. I really think that Rangers first 5 play is also smacking. I'll leave it up to you 2 guys. You want to put the Rangers first 5 in here, or you want to leave it out?
I mean, I'm down to put it in there, Krabs.
We can put it in there.
You don't like it, Gootsy?
No, I took it. I like it. I love fading the Dodgers. I fade the Dodgers every day.
Yeah, let's put that puppy in there, huh?
Yeah.
Gootsy, bless.
Let's put him in there. Now, there is push potential for that play.
There is.
But chat can vote accordingly, right?
Yep.
So, and look, a push, I'm not going to cry over a push if it ends up happening. A push is a win. I always say that. I will always say that going forwards, right? You know why? Because you didn't lose. Okay, that's how I look at it. You never hear me bitch about a push. You get those coins back. You try again. 3 plays, 3 winners, chat. Get involved. You got a Rangers first 5 ML. It does have some push potential. So if you're not into that type of thing, or if you want a full game bet, you got the Blue Jays on the ML, and you got the Padres and the Astros over 9. All right. Wasn't going to make Jovan fade his Miami Heat tonight with the Hawks, although that's probably a pretty good option. That could be an unofficial squad ride tonight. That is true. If it's green, it's green. Do like that play, but I like these ones better. 3 plays, 3 winners, chat. Hurry up, go, go, go. Get involved. If you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you, guy. I appreciate you guys, but you got to make your way over to the Twitch page and lock in your vote for the squad ride poll. Don't just sit there. Get involved, please. Okay. How does his home run lay only pay $53K on PP, but 130 on blue? Isn't that crazy, Red Hat? Isn't that crazy? Please tell me the Phils are covering the spreads. Well, I don't know if the Phils are covering the spreads. Zach Wheeler and Sandy, that's a game that we didn't even get to. I guess while we're getting these votes, we could talk about it for a second here. Yeah, Sandy and Zach Wheeler have both kind of looked like shells of themselves at times so far this season. I don't know what to make of that game. Jovan, do you have any thoughts on Sandy versus Wheeler?
I like the Phillies, but I do think Sandy pitches somewhat well today. So I feel like this is probably a game that if they do cover the run line, it might come late off of the Marlins bullpen. So like it's a game where they get some usage because their bullpen's also decently taxed after the D-back series. So Sandy's going to have to give them some depth. I don't know. I'd like them a lot more as a bozo piece than on the -1.5.
Okay. All right.
Did you have
get
to
those votes in chat?
Lindor season hits.
Yeah, I might have some time on my calendar around 3 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to set up a meeting, sure.
Okay. What are we?
Dude,
What are we doing?
Blue Jays tweet.
Wow.
Blue Jays ML. Hopefully Trent didn't see shit in his backyard tonight. Let's fucking cash, boys. Come on. Come on. What do you say? Blue Jays ML. Let's go, Goots. Stay hot, kid. W Squad Ride.
Shock
Blue Jays ML.
The Jays. I love that.
I do. Hey, that was a very quick response time as well.
For an AL East rival.
Confidence. Foot down, Goots. Yeah. An O's rival. Who would have thought? All right, chat. WBTL today. W stream. We're already over, so we're going to cut this puppy. But WBTL today. I appreciate all you guys so much. All the subbies today. All the great vibes today. Let's carry that into next week. W week of BTL. W day of BTL. W Goots. W Jovan. W chat. Stick around for the Surge stream. Rad is going to host today. Please pitch him a winner. Give him a sell job that he simply cannot refuse. And do me a favor for me. Will you tell him that the Pirates are losing today? It'll make me feel good. All right. Get involved. W chat. Appreciate you guys. Have a great Easter this weekend if you're into that type of thing. All right. Have a great time with the fam if you're able to see them. We'll catch you guys on Monday, same time, same place.